I really truly believe that on January 20th, 2021, it will be Donald J. Trump putting his hand on that Bible.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for. We know there's a step A, we know there's a step C. We know there's all kinds of twists and turns that are going to be in between. All of this was prophesied.
So will this eventually go to the Supreme Court to make the decision?
I can't tell you that. I'm hoping that it does. And that's
Or
what
will there
I
be
think it's gonna have
electors
to
from
exhaust.
various states that say we're not going to cast a vote for Joe Biden?
Well, I think that has to happen first. I think there has to be electors who do not accept those, because it's got to still stop anybody from getting the 270. And so there have been a lot of our representatives who have said that there's no way, with the amount of information that has been presented, that they would allow those states to be certified.
And why do y'all? What made you gravitate towards President Trump? You told me earlier that you voted for Obama the first time, but you realized that was a mistake.
Oh, that was a terrible mistake.
But you didn't do it the second time, I suppose.
Absolutely did not. No, I was convicted by that.
Yeah.
Being a Christian, conservative, constitutionalist Republican, being that individual is what really. I grew up with a father who educated his children. He sent us to private school. He and my mother were property owners. They bought property outside of just their home. They were in business for themselves. There were a lot of things that were different about my life than a lot of other people. And so my father loved Ronald Reagan. He believed in Reaganomics. And so with that being his favorite president and everything, I just gravitated to him.
So do y'all truly believe that President Trump has done a lot of great works for the black communities of America?
Absolutely, but he did it for every community.
Exactly.
In doing it for every community,
Latinos.
it helps the black community.
Yeah.
So I do love the fact, because here's the way I feel about it. Even if you have the people on the lowest, on the bottom of the totem pole, that's what I call the weakest link. And I do think that there's some situations that cause them to need additional help to be pulled up. Right? If they get the left, the biggest problem for the black community is the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
So the minute they can get rid of the Democrat Party, we would be on fire.
Absolutely.
And if they could just gravitate to
one
those
more
things.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How has specifically here in South Dallas County, what percentage-wise would you say is in favor of President Trump? We know that in the offices that were up in this past election went the Democrat way, but how many more of there is of y'all in South Dallas County? I know you can't be the only two.
I know there are a whole lot more. Okay, the thing that alerted us to that there was a whole lot more, because even inside our Republicans clubs and things like that, you don't see a great presence of African Americans.
Are a lot of people scared to
Well, I just think
to
Republicans in general.
Yes.
They don't. A lot of times, you know what they call pollsters and things like that. They don't tell people their political.
But specifically in the African American communities, especially here in South Dallas, are some just timid to express their love or support for President Trump and other Republicans? They kind of keep that to themselves.
Well, I don't know about,
because it may, they may get ratted out by friends, family.
Well, I don't know about you. I haven't met any timid African Americans.
That's true.
I haven't met very many timid. And the thing about it, the Republican Party needs to recognize the strength that is in the black community, just as strong as they are over there for the left. If you had them on your team, you would be a bigger force to be reckoned with.
I'll take it back. I have one more question.
Okay.
With or without President Trump, if he gets 4 more years or only 2 more months, what can the Republican Party do to continue this growth that we have been able to achieve in the African American communities of America?
Well, here's one thing I say in my personal family. Okay, if I'm having a Thanksgiving dinner and I say, okay, everyone come to my house, there will be a lot of individuals who do not show up at my house because they need the invitation. They need to know you care enough to lay out the invitation to them. And I believe that that's what the Republican Party has to do. People need to come down here and court the black community. Because like you said, in this area, I mean, there are a lot of successful people who are in this area.
Sure
there are a lot of other reasons that they are walking that fine line of really having but being on the other side. But we really do need to court them. And when I say court them, I don't mean do it their handouts and things like that. Come down and invite them to the table.
Absolutely.
And that's what I believe is happening.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.